Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. Okay, off to work quite early. Our guest this morning is coming to us from our Abuja studio. Datti Kato is spokesperson of the Datti Presidential Campaign Council. A fine morning to you, Ndi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Indeed, our pleasure. Okay, the election is, so to speak, just round the corner, and all the parties are working.
Yes,
certainly,
it
is the case with, Labour as well, with the presidential team of Obi Datti. That's why it's the Obi Datti Presidential Campaign Council. Even at this stage, you launched recently some sort of an app that I'll be seeking to learn about. Because it's connected with the grassroots project of your party. Maybe I should start from there. Well, it seems we understand grassroots, but tell us about you making a project of it in your party.
Well, I mean, we've so far run a very decentralized campaign where it's a come one, come all situation, and anybody from anywhere can participate. So this app is just really trying to bring everybody together on one platform to organize better towards the elections. Like you said, we have next to no time left. I think less than 3 weeks left for this election to happen, and it's imperative that we create a platform where everybody can come together and organize towards the elections, and that's what the town hall app is.
Okay, it's a town hall app. Okay, maybe this is as good a time as any to speak about it. People think, rightly or wrongly, that you have a deep presence on social media. Whatever the feelings are about that online. And it's interesting to hear, that probably can't be denied, but it's also interesting to hear that you're working on the grassroots level as well, because the argument has been, well, maybe argument is too strong a word, but the point has been made that, look, in the grassroots, where the power really lies, they don't have access to the internet and all the online campaigns that Labour Party, and the others, by the way, really rely upon. First of all, two things in there. Number one, most of the support of Labour Party is online, and how is this going to interface with that?
I would like to correct that notion. Most of the support of Labour Party is not online. Labour Party has support online and offline, and it is that offline support that is bleeding into the online space. That online support is something that people are really looking for. Other political parties are looking for on the large scale that Labour Party has, and they do not have it. Now, to say that that is the only support, or that is most of the support that Labour Party has, will be false. Look, at the end of the day, people that you see online are actual human beings. These are actual Nigerians. These Nigerians also belong in the grassroots. Many people shooting videos do not shoot videos, do not show us videos of themselves from the city areas. Many of them shoot from the rural areas. I was privileged to travel to the southeast, for example, this new year, and I remember seeing there in that village, many people are also not on social media talking about these issues, but right there in the grassroots, there in the southeast, I didn't even see, when people, we can't see posters, and say, I did not see posters, but every single person I met, except just one man, was a Labour Party supporter. And that's what this is, that, we have a lot of support online, and we have a lot of support offline. And if this didn't matter, we would not have, governors and the Speaker of the House of Representatives struggling to gain that online support right now from the APC after seeing what is happening with their own campaign. It means that these spaces matter. And another important thing to note is that the support from online actually trickles. The conversation online influences the conversation on grassroots level, and that's very important to note. We can't say that many people from the grassroots are not aware of what we are talking about. They are aware. They are aware of the issues. The same issues affect them. And if you go to any grassroots area in Nigeria and you talk to any Nigerian, it's the same issue we are talking about here that they are talking about down there. So online support does not mean that we do not have offline support. In fact, I would say that online support is directly representative of offline support, and Labour Party has the most of both.
Well, you've given part of the answer to what my next question was going to be. I was going to ask you to sort of evaluate the grassroots support which you think Labour has. It's coming down to name recognition, isn't it? That is to say, your party name and indeed the name of your of your candidates, among other things. And of course, we need to go. Probably we'll be going to the projects on what it is that Obi, and for that matter, Datti, have done by way of, you know how it works. And so that's why people that have made the point probably made it that, look, you look at all the front runners, they don't seem to, they would think that the others have a name recognition, but you are just saying, you are implying in there that no less so in your case. Am I right in making that assumption?
Of course, PeterObi has name recognition. He does. I mean, this is someone that if he just turns up in a place, people are rushing up to him. What better name recognition than that? When we went to my village, Kafanchan, in fact, we went to the Kafanchan in southern Kaduna. Kafanchan is where my father comes from. Kogoro is where my mother comes from. And we went to both villages. And you should see the support. People were trekking between local governments with PeterObi's vehicle. So for us to say, this name recognition is not, no, and that is northern Nigeria, northwest. People know him there. Many places where PeterObi goes to, people are flooding. They are showing emotional investments in his campaign. So if it is name recognition, I think more than anyone at this point, PeterObi does have name recognition. And it's not just name recognition. People are passionate about this man, and it's something that we need to note. Okay.
Maybe, thank you. Maybe name recognition, I could have phrased it differently, because I would be one of the first to also admit that the name PeterObi, it does, resonate up and down the country. But I really meant to say, people might say, we can see what other candidates have done in their past, and so you're probably going to be concerned to show that you also have the goods to put next to what other people are, putting out there as a key point.
Please, you have to take that again. Please, can you take that again? Sorry, you went off for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, I think what I was saying was that it's not so much name recognition per se, so my bad, because everybody does know about PeterObi, but in terms of what has been, what he has by way of CV, talking politically now, what it is that he's done, seeing as that seems to be what the politicians are now saying, that, look, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. So I don't know what you think, because I'm relating all of this back to the grassroots, the people, the so-called, these maybe unsophisticated folks who don't have data and who must be met one-on-one. You got to knock on their door or whatever, that kind of a thing. Do you think they also have a good notion of what your candidate has done in the past that will stand him in very good stead in the next few weeks?
The thing, and this is the thing, like PeterObi keeps facing this in the media and keeps facing this in, upper class political conversations as to, the experience, to see a political neophyte, and he's not. This is the same thing that happened when he came out to run for governor of Anambra State. Career politicians kept saying, who is he, where is he coming from? We've been in this system for so long. Sorry, my earpiece. We've been in this system for so long. Who is this fellow? Where is he coming from? And does he think he can just come and bulldoze his way? But he did that, and he won the governorship of Anambra State, and he won it twice. He served 2 terms, right? And he understood this system very well and ran that system well. So I think it's also based on what he did in Anambra that people are really passionate about, because people who are experiencing in Anambra are the biggest preachers of what he has done, and the need to vote for this man. Many people have come out to say, look, when I was in secondary school, this is what he did for us. In healthcare, this is what he did. For the marketplace, all of this is what he did. And to have that kind of testimony from your state, to be so widely accepted in your state, is really a great thing. We can't really say that somebody who has been the governor, 2-time governor of the state, is not politically experienced. Come on, I don't think that is something that would point to. He has been a 2-time governor, and even when he was governor under a different political party, Jonathan still made him serve in his economic council on his team during the Jonathan administration. It just speaks to how experienced this man is and how valuable his skills and knowledge is. So I don't think so. And I also think that his skills transcend beyond career politics. This is an astute businessman, a man who has sat on the board of many important companies, including banks, superstores and all of that. And I don't think that we should throw that away. We need a well-rounded individual to be president of Nigeria, and PeterObi is one. We can't just say that, or one who has run the political circle. And I think, when we look at that, it's also not really good for the conversation when you say that, because a lot of the times our political system is very rent-seeking. It's not as sophisticated as it should be. So we need someone who has been in this system, been in other systems, and can bring their experience from other sectors and apply to the political sector, apply to governance, and that's what we need. And the good thing is PeterObi has the best of both worlds. He has functioned in places where, your wealth and other things should be backed by enterprise. He has functioned in spaces where it is your knowledge, is your skills that work for you, and he's bringing that to politics. And I think that should be a plus. We shouldn't just look and say, has this person been in politics his entire life? If he has not been in politics his entire life, then he does not qualify. I think that it is an advantage that PeterObi has experience in other spaces, has experience in politics, and he can merge the two for governance.
Okay. Well, last week, no doubt, you political guys in the political parties, if not before, certainly in this period, you got your ears to the ground. And you would have heard Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna speak about your candidate by name, is why I bring it up now. He had used words that leads to the conclusion from him that he's not a serious contender. He spoke about percentages, characterized him in a particular way. There's a sense in which you can say it's all politics, but since all politicians have their audiences, give me your commentary on Governor El-Rufai's categorization and assessment of your candidate.
There's one reason El-Rufai came on TV, and that's because his candidate is threatened, the person he supports, and his political career as a result of that is threatened, and he had run to TV damage control. Now, if part of that damage control, if in that damage control, sorry, I can't really hear you, so I don't know if you can hear me, but if in that damage control he mentioned PeterObi's name, then it means that PeterObi is the front-runner candidate. If somebody runs to TV and feels that they need to defend, they need to say things, they need to be out there so that their candidate is saved from the quagmire that the candidate is currently in and their political party is saved, and he calls somebody who is on his own, doing his own campaign towards a better Nigeria, it means that he feels threatened. There are so many other people running for office and running for president in Nigeria, so many other candidates running for president in Nigeria, and he didn't make notes, he did not mention any of them to put down their candidacy. So if without PeterObi, it means that there's something there, especially the fact that, especially with the fact that the reason he was on TV in the first place was damage control, was to save face, and the fact that his party is facing internal crisis at the moment.
Okay. I'll return to it perhaps, because in the meantime, I have Mr. George on the line. Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on, please.
Sorry, before you go, I think I want to point out that the statement El-Rufai made with respect to Christian communities in northern Nigeria is an insult, and it's beneath anyone of any political standing to do that kind of thing. These are major voting populations in the north, people who have faced a lot of oppression and are trying to survive. He should know better than doing that, especially in Kaduna State, that is a very heterogeneous society, and people come under constant attacks, and we've not really seen him come to speak for the people of Kaduna like that, and then to come out and refer to them as Christian enclaves. I consider that an insult, and I think that it should be disregarded. No part of Nigeria should be regarded or talked about like that.
Okay, indeed. As I was saying earlier, I got to bring on a viewer now. Mr. George has called in from Lagos. Good morning, Mr. George. You got an observation or question for Indy?
Well, an observation. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
A quick observation. The observation I am going to make is in connection with the attitude of the opposition parties to this upcoming election. It is clear, Uncle Yori, very, very clear to even the blind, that these opposition parties are conniving with certain bad elements everywhere to make sure that this election does not hold. That is what I can see. But they should remember that they cannot win if there is no country to govern. and that we who vote them, we the voters, we are using this to see who is who in our country among those that are trying to lead us. What is their character? What is their aim? If an opponent of yours is ahead or leading in a campaign, bringing him down, is that the way to bring yourself up? Does that portray that this man, if he comes to power, he will do what is good for the country? Selfishness and betrayal and distrust and cowardness are things that I am seeing. And that, look at the statement, Uncle Yori, look at the statement PeterObi made, look at the statement Atiku made about the sufferings of people who have money in the bank, but they cannot see the money to use. They don't have the courage to blame the governor of Central Bank and his clique. They are telling us it is slight inconvenience. Slight inconvenience when you see people stripping.
Okay. I think I got enough of that before I lost that call. Indeed, did you also hear that caller?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay. Please go ahead if you would like to comment.
I mean, I think what we're facing is a national crisis, and I have personally suffered from it too. I mean, I had to go to the market last week, on Saturday, and I know the hell I went through. I had to buy Naira. I've never experienced that kind of thing my entire life, using the Naira to buy the Naira. I don't think any country would have experienced this kind of thing. And it is right, of course, to call that out, the suffering of the Nigerian people. But, you know, to jump the internal crisis and the mudslinging in the APC and just jump and say, oh, it's the opposition parties that are fueling this, I honestly don't know what the caller wants the opposition parties to do. At this point, it is right to say, look, you need to do something about the situation. Nigerians are going through a lot, and you know there is that. And the comments made by our candidate, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that at the end of the day, APC is going through its internal crisis, and it should face itself. It should face what it thinks the cabal is doing. They should go back and forth. We've been seeing them all over social media, all over the news media, throwing mud at themselves. So to extend it, I mean, is this same thing Erufai came to blame certain cabals or the presidency for in the media? I don't see how people who are not in power should be blamed for this. Labour Party is not currently in power. What we are seeking to do is to enter government and bring Nigeria back from the brink. And right now we are not in there. So I don't know how we are coming into the conversation about the Naira. You know, it's not Labour Party. It's the ruling party that has messed this up. It's the ruling party that is giving Nigeria a really hard time with respect to their standard of living and continues to throw very difficult, impossible policies at us. And any right-thinking person should point straight to the ruling party when things like this go wrong.
Okay, let me take another call. This time it's Mr. Olalekan in the UK. Good morning to you, Mr. Olalekan.
Yeah, good morning to you, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead. Is it a...
Good morning, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure.
What I just want to say is this election is very crucial to us, and I believe we need somebody who have good antecedents, who can put our country in the right form. Right? To me, it's very easy. The Tinubu will be Atiku. One way or the other, they are lead the state. Or, for example, Atiku has been a vice before. Obi was a governor before, likewise Asiwaju Tinubu. But we know the antecedent of each one of them. To me, like what the question you asked that lady you are speaking to, that what is the antecedent of his candidate? It's very easy. What is he achieved in Anambra? Why the same Anambra people need to migrate to Lagos State? Even the same candidate she's campaigning for, he lives in Lagos State. So to me, it's clear, very obvious for us to know that the right person we need, whether we like it or not, is Tinubu. But for Lagos to attract a lot of people to come all over Nigeria, that is very clear no doubt about it. They can say anything about him. Is this, is that. That is political. That is political campaign. You know,
Okay.
and because the man is even bold enough to say something about the central bank, what is happening. Does Obi say the same thing, or does the article say the same thing? The answer is no. So, to me, Tinubu is the right candidate we need. Thank you.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Olalekan, for calling in from the UK. But our subject matter is really seeking to understand Labour Party's grassroots project. It's a newsworthy thing, and I wanted to try and understand it. But nevertheless, I'm sure Indy is up to the task. You went where you went, and I'm sure Indy is waiting for you there. Anambrarians, all of them are in Lagos. If PeterObi had done such a fantastic job, wouldn't they all be home? I think, you know, that's a crude distillation of his point.
Of course, first things first, not all Anambra people are in Lagos. Igbo people are nomadic, especially because of the way they handle their business. They are everywhere in and out of Nigeria. So let's not just point to Lagos and say Anambrarians are in Lagos. Number two, you know, I'm actually glad that I get to speak on this issue because it's this fallacy that has been spread, you know, they keep bringing it up in the conversation. But Lagos is the financial capital, the economic capital of Nigeria. Are you saying that Nigerians are not free to travel and live and work anywhere within Nigeria, especially if a place has the major ports? And that is the draw. This has the major ports in Nigeria. Of course, businesses will gravitate towards that area. So are you saying that some Nigerians do not qualify? Tinubu did not make Lagos the major port in Nigeria. He did not make Lagos the economic capital of Nigeria. It is what it is. It's like asking why, you know, people from Southern Kaduna, where I come from, are in Abuja. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. People are going to come here. People are going to gravitate towards these places. These places will be saturated with some certain level of investment, some certain level of development that will make people come to these areas to engage in businesses in this place. But let's also talk about Anambra. I mean, let's look at how he took Anambra to number one in education. Let's look at what he did with healthcare, you know, resuscitating a lot of these hospitals that had become moribund, you know, his work with primary healthcare centers in Anambra State, his work with his donations of over 500 vehicles to security personnel towards ensuring security in Anambra State, helping to eradicate armed robbery in his last term in office. I mean, these are so many things. If you're looking at PeterObi's antecedents, and one of the things I like about it, if you attend any event with PeterObi, when he's speaking, when he finishes and he's talking to dignitaries, he shares his CV. He takes his CV around. Look at the things I have done. When I was governor, I was doubling the Economic Council for Nigeria. When I was governor, these were the statistics. These are the awards that came to Anambra State. So please, let's stop this. Igbo people are going to continue to do business in and out of Nigeria, as with other people in Nigeria, to be honest. They are not the only ones. Yoruba people are going to do business in and out of Nigeria. Northerners are going to do business in and out of Nigeria. I can't imagine going to a country and hearing people saying, why is Dangote having a plant in my country? Does he not have a country? People are free to do business anywhere they want to do business. And this place is the economic capital of the country. People will gravitate towards there. But also, let's remember that Anambra has its own industries. You know, there's a motor assembly plant in Anambra. There's so many things happening there. There's so many businessmen that you have not even heard of. You've not even heard of doing business there and succeeding there. So let's kill that argument, please.
Okay, let me bring on Mike, who has been waiting to join the program in Sweden. Good morning, Mike.
Hello, Uncle Yodo. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Indy. How are you? I hope you're good.
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question. When did Bola Ahmed Tinubu become the governor of Lagos State? That your last caller said, why would his people migrate to the Lagos State? See that code, where is he calling from? Is he in Nigeria? He's not in Nigeria. I'm in Sweden. I'm not from Sweden. I left home to come to Sweden. So when people call and make some certain statements, you should shun them. People migrated from different places to different places. Bola Ahmed Tinubu become the governor of Lagos State from 1999. So before people migrated from their place to Lagos State has been there. So let us not make this a particular something. Let us focus on the issue base. That's just what I want to say, please. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. What we're talking about this morning, at least that's what we started off, Indicator and I, the spokesperson for the Datti Presidential Campaign Council, was to understand the project, the grassroots project. But then wherever people take it to, as I was saying, indeed, she's waiting, and she probably will respond appropriately. Indeed, I'll just take a break now, very short break. We'll be right back, and we'll continue with this conversation and also continue taking your calls. Stay with us, please.